As kids, a lot of us played Cowboys and Indians. It was just a game, but the myth behind it, that wasn't nearly as harmless. Because what we were really reenacting, whether we knew it or not, was genocide, propaganda, and centuries of stolen land wrapped in a Hollywood fantasy. Welcome back to History Unlearning. And today, we're breaking down the carefully crafted lie of the Wild West. When most of us picture the West, we picture a rugged white cowboy riding across a barren desert, fighting off savage tribes and making the frontier safe for civilization. What actually happened was decades of violent land theft, from the Louisiana Purchase to the Gold Rush to the invasion of Mexico. Every square mile of free land was only free because someone else had already been driven off. And the cowboys, they weren't a uniformed group of white noble gunfighters. The real cowboy workforce was incredibly diverse. In fact, as cattle drives expanded after the Civil War, about 1 in 5 trail workers was black or Hispanic, and plenty were Native American or even Chinese. Their job wasn't heroism, it was herding cattle, a backbreaking working class job. And that whole Cowboys versus Indians thing also never really happened. The real violence wasn't between cowboys and Native Americans, it was between the US Army and Native communities, who were being starved, attacked, and forcibly removed from their lands. Most soldiers stationed out west never saw combat. Some never even saw a Native person. The ones who did often described them as not enemies, but as starving victims of US policy. Food rations meant to last 7 days ran out in 3. Buffalo were slaughtered to extinction by settlers. Entire tribes were forced into barren reservations with no resources, no jobs, and no future. Some native people fought back, but the real violence came when indigenous nations were starved out. The government, they called those battles. But when one side has Gatling guns and the other is defending their families, it's not really a fair fight. Now, one cowboy who actually witnessed it wrote, "The people we saw scattered about in small villages or begging beef from us were not the savage foes of Western lore, but a sorry lot of starving human beings." So where did all this cowboy heroism come from? Well, it was invented, literally. Elites like Teddy Roosevelt and the Frontier Club romanticized the West to distract from labor unrest and whitewash the genocide. Later, Hollywood and Madison Avenue took over, using the cowboy myths to sell everything from cigarettes to cologne. Even presidents played along. Ronald Reagan loved to pose as a cowboy. Never mind the fact he mostly only rode movie sets. The cowboy was never just a man. He was a symbol of white male dominance, capitalist individualism, and state-sponsored violence turned into legend. That's why he still shows up in our movies, our ads, and yes, our politics. Because he's a story we tell ourselves to feel proud of something that never really existed. And this isn't the only lie we were sold, but this video is getting a bit long, so I'll have to put that in a part 2. The truth is, the Wild West wasn't wild. It was orchestrated, and it was built on broken treaties, stolen land, and a lot of propaganda.